How many of you have not run a marathon? Run a marathon? Really? I was going to ask somebody else. All right. When you run a marathon, solid foundation are your shoes. If you haven't got the right shoes, you're going to get shin splints. You're going to get your IV band killing you. You're going to be out there on the course going, I've been there. These are the first pair of shoes I ran on my first marathon. There's a lot of paint and stuff all over them, but I kept them. Kind of like hoarding. When you run, there's 3 different styles of running shoes. They're what they call motion control, stability, and neutral. These are a neutral shoe. I ran marathon number 2 and number 3 with these. And I also developed the problem of having my soleus kill me. So being a big guy, I went back to running what they call Stability Plus. Gives a little bit more stability, keeps you from turning in too much, and that helps you run 26.2 if you're lucky. Now me, I'm not running 26.2 for anybody. I'm going to run, walk, crawl, but I'm going to finish. I did it 3 times. And I did it with team and training. Now when you're running with team and training, they have the coaches, they have the mentors, and you have your team coach. And they break you down into 3 areas, A, B, and C. A is for the awful runners. B is for the, I'm going to get there kind of runner. They're kind of in the middle. And the C are the classy runners. They're the ones that you're halfway through your practice run, they're already on their way back. I remember doing a 16-mile run, practice run through La Jolla. I hadn't got to mile 8, and they're already coming back. The other thing is, if you're out running by yourself, I have this little team and training thing here, so if somebody ever runs me over or I fall down and have a heart attack, they know where to get a hold of somebody to take care of me. Okay? The other thing, when you buy your shoes, after you go to places like Moving Shoes or Roadrunner Sports, okay, you need inserts. The inserts that they give you in your shoes when you buy them, even though you're spending $100, $115, $120, they suck. Okay, they're worthless. So what you do is you take out and you get something like this, or whatever brand you feel comfortable with, and you put them in your shoes, gives you a little more stability. You cut the ends off to make them fit your shoe. Right, runner? And I'm telling you, it is the best thing in the world when you've got the right inserts. Now, if you go to Roadrunner Sports down in San Diego off of Kearny Mesa or REI, they actually get you on the treadmill now, if you want. And you run for a couple of minutes on the treadmill, you get off, take your shoes off, and they put you on a little machine, and it takes a sensing of your feet. And what they do is they build you a comparable orthotic that's customized for you. So when you're out there running, you can really get it going. Now, one of the things when you're running, especially with me when I was running the big marathon instead of the half, is always that camel pack. I fill it up with lots of Gatorade and lots of ice because it keeps my back from hurting. You have this little thing here you pull out and suck as you go. Now, between water stops, that's what I like to do. Have a little sip, keeps my throat warm, keeps it not so much warm, but keeps it moist so you don't get dry mouth. The other thing you do when you're out there is you can spend about $300 for a garment. So if you ever fall down out there, you know about what body you fell down at. You don't know what body you fell down at, too. So it's really good for if you want to know what your pace is, you want what your timing is, you want to know about where you are in your practice run or on your regular run, this will tell you. And again, for about $300, it's not a bad deal. Now, in the old days when you ran, you had a little thing like this, not the whole thing, but it looked like this. This is what you call your chip. And you used to put it on your shoe. And what you do is when you're crossing the start line, you hear the beep, beep, beep. So you get 20,000 runners doing the rock and roll marathon, you get 20,000 beep, 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 beep. But it also beeps out on the course when you go across certain areas because they're the ones that are going to tell you that you are completing the course, or you're supposed to complete the course, and then you cross the finish line. Now there's two kinds of times. There is the official time. Those are for the rabbits out front running for the money. And then there's what they call your clock time. This is your personal time. Because if you ever ran the rock and roll in San Diego and you're back at gate 20, it'll take you almost 10, 12 minutes to get to the start line. So that 10 or 12 minutes for official time versus 10 or 12 minutes for your personal time.
Wow.
The other thing you have out there, we call goos. Take a look at them, gels. About every 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you have one of these because they're going to give you some electrolytes. They're going to give you some things that help you keep going so you don't dry out. There's a power bar. They call them goos, gels. They're really pretty cool. I like them. One of the other things out there that I don't, this is what I run for half marathons when I was running. It's a little bit smaller than the other. It's a lot easier. Just fill it up one time. I mean, by a mile 13.1, you're done anyway, so you don't need this big nasty thing there. It's a lot lighter. The other thing I carry in these are my identification, my hospital card, and about 10, 15 bucks, just in case you want to buy something when I get done. You never run in these socks, okay? Never, ever run in these socks. They'll kill you. On top of that, they're heavy, and if you're running a half marathon or a full marathon, you'll never see anybody running out there with these unless they really don't know what they're doing. You're running something like this. Now, these are little team and training socks. These are still a little heavy, but they only come up to about here instead of here. And when you're running 13.1 or 26.2, the less weight, the better off you are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You got to remember, running a full marathon is about 15,000 steps. Now, the active runners, they run like they're running on fire. You ever watch it? Because I watch them all the time because my retic activators in gear. I have what they call the marathon shuffle. Okay, you just got to shuffle along because you're not going to be running as fast as they are. The other thing is when you're running, get shin splints, one of the things that happens is it's your gait. Now, if you ever watch yourself walk, okay, if we're walking like we're running, we should be walking like this. But if you ever watch yourself walk, it's usually one foot or the other is walking out. So your normal walk, you don't notice it. But when you're running and your foot's out like this, I'm exaggerating, what's happening is your knees are going this way, but your foot's going this way. So what's happening is you're torquing this. And that's how you get shin splints. So one of the things I learned, that was one of the things I learned from my chiropractor, is get one of these. Now you don't run it over your bone, you run it over the muscle in this area here. And it will definitely take out the shin splint. Now, so we'll practice. But the whole thing gets down to, what are you going to do? Are you going to run a marathon? Who would like to run a marathon as I run a marathon? That was a really inspiring speech. Real good. All right, guys. This is what you're running for. As Shelley so aptly put a couple weeks ago, this is what you're running for. Nice. And when you're running for team and training, I ran for two people. I ran for my uncle Silvio and for Edith's friend Ann. Both of them died of leukemia and lymphoma. Okay, so I was running for them. So this is what you're running for. Anybody can run. If I can do it at age 56, you can do it. Okay, my first marathon was 56. The longest I ever ran before that was maybe 5 miles in the service. And a few runs and ground pounders, you probably ran a lot farther, but that's okay. So I'd like to conclude with, you can run, walk, or crawl a marathon. Thank you.